Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, last night we had a primary. The only state that has their primaries in the month of July is none other than the state of Maryland. And Donald Trump was under a lot of fire by a lot of people in the GOP establishment, a lot of neocons, a lot of the people that I like to call electabros, because all they care about is winning elections. They don't care if Phil Scott is the Republican nominee. And a lot of the candidates that they prop up, these weak candidates that they think are more electorally viable, in many cases actually are not. Now, I will say that the state of Maryland is a state that has elected Republican governors that are total rhinos. They have Larry Hogan right now. However, even if Kelly Schulz was the nominee, it would be very unlikely that she would win. But Donald Trump angered a lot of these people because he backed Dan Cox over Kelly Schulz in this election. And a lot of people, the same people that were saying Trump is losing his grip on the Republican Party, are angry because Donald Trump's pick won, and it wasn't even close. Dan Cox, he was facing steep opposition that was funded by Amazon, the Washington Post. Every factor of the establishment was supporting Kelly Schulz, including Larry Hogan, by the way. And this is a Trump versus Larry Hogan proxy war. And Donald Trump came out on top in Maryland, of all places. Even the Maryland Republican Party, like the Republican Party of old, is gone, especially in these primaries. And a lot of the dinosaurs have left. Of all the suburban counties surrounding Baltimore, like the lion's share of them went for Dan Cox. Baltimore County, which is not Baltimore City, north of Baltimore, voted for Dan Cox by 8 points in this primary over the establishment pick. The rural areas, you saw the margins being run up there significantly. So it is very clear and very evident that the Republican Party is still very much under the influence of Donald Trump, so much so to the point where Republicans were willing to risk like any minuscule chance that they had at maybe getting a victory by nominating the Trump pick because Trump said so. This is still Trump's party, and this is also something that is going to foreshadow the primaries that are incoming in Arizona, in Michigan. And you'll see that there too. Arizona, like Maryland, is a closed primary. You're not going to see a lot of Democrats crossing over and voting for Karen Robson. If Dan Cox beat Kelly Schulz, there are some similarities between Schulz and Robson. The electabro favorite. You see the fact that they are being backed up by big money, the entire establishment. They've been very socially liberal in the past and have donated to, far left politicians or whatever. There's similarities there between Schulz and Robson. And at the end of the day, Kari Lake will likely beat Robson, which we'll talk about in the next video, and Dan Cox just beat Kelly Schulz, which is something that will foreshadow that defeat of a lot of these weaker rhinos and neocons that are going to be in next month's election. So do keep that in mind as well moving forward regarding Maryland. So, does Dan Cox have a chance to win the general at all? I think he's not as bad as a lot of the neocons are going to say in terms of his electability, but still, Maryland is Maryland. The silver lining here is that Dan Cox is going up against Wes Moore. Wes Moore used to be like a blue dog Democrat, and now he's like a far-left black nationalist, so he's changing in real time. And they haven't called this yet because of all the remaining outstanding mail-in ballots that they can't count until Thursday. Yeah, what a wonderful first world country we have here, especially regarding our electoral system. But beyond that point, it's very likely that Wes Moore ekes out a victory over Tom Perez and Peter Francois. Anyways, is Wes Moore going to win the general? Probably. And he probably would have beaten Kelly Schulz too. Kelly Schulz probably would have gotten in the mid-40s. Dan Cox might even crack 40%. He might get under that. It's a red wave year. Dan Cox is somebody that energizes whatever grassroots exists in Maryland in the Panhandle, which is very Trumpy, and it's basically West Virginia there, or this part of Maryland on the eastern seaboard coast here, which is more similar to rural Delaware. I've been to both places, actually, in Maryland. They are fairly conservative. He'll energize that region, but either way, it's like not going to matter in the grand scheme of things. I will say, though, it is a net positive that, in my opinion, that Dan Cox is the nominee for two reasons. And I said this here. One of them is because he will increase that grassroots turnout, which you need in order to win Maryland's 6th district, which is the new district in Western Maryland that is now viable for Republicans to actually have a chance at picking up. And they could do that this cycle. And there was another primary result out of the state of Maryland that we saw here for the House district where Neil Parrott, he destroyed Matthew Foldy. The establishment was coalescing behind Matt Foldy. He's like a 25-year-old. They're saying, oh, he's our boy wonder. He's our whiz kid. He's going to go out there and be like a more establishment Madison Cawthorn that walks, and we're going to make him a star in the party. Guess what? Didn't happen. Neil Parrott, like, he's kind of a run-of-the-mill guy. He's decent. He's not like, oh, this guy's going to be the next, like, Gosar or MTG or Michael Cassidy or anything like that. But he will likely have a shot to win the general, and we will see that unfold. And because Cox is on the ballot energizing Republican voters more so than not, then it's very possible that that is going to be a pickup opportunity. Also, Republicans don't have to waste their money and energy and resources trying to get Kelly Schulz across the finish line. Let's be real. I mean, Democrats, they have one of their like far left candidates. They're probably not going to throw a lot of money behind him regardless to begin with. They're going to be focusing a lot of their energy on other races where their, golden boy picks, their establishment picks are going to be able to win or whatever. We know that. But with Kelly Schulz, Republicans would be dumping a lot more money into Maryland, thinking that they would be able to win. And they still would likely come up short, by the way, probably by around 5 to 10 points because of demography, because Maryland just is the way that it is now. And now you don't have to worry about that. So that's another reason. Another reason is accelerationism. And a lot of people are going to think that this is a selfish take of mine. You're going to get a few angry people, mainly from Maryland, in the comment section about this. But what it also does is that having far-left leadership will wake up a lot of people in Maryland. A lot of conservatives that live in Maryland that can leave the state will likely leave the state. They'll be going to Virginia. They'll be going to North Carolina. They'll be going to Florida, Texas, etc., other swing states or red states, and they'll either keep the red states red and potentially increase the amount of electoral votes that they have, or they will go to swing states or states that are just remotely competitive and make them more red and make them less competitive. So do keep that in mind as well moving forward. We'll wait and see what goes down regarding this election. I think Cox is probably going to lose by 20, but at the end of the day, it's another middle finger to the GOP establishment. If Kelly Schulz actually did go out there and she got close or she did win, she would be hyped up as, oh, look, Republican that won in Maryland. Is that a little bit familiar? Republican that won in Massachusetts. Oh, who is that? Mitt Romney. Yeah, they did everything they could to prop up Mitt Romney as a future star because, oh, look what he's doing out in Massachusetts. We see people to a certain extent doing this with Youngkin, and while I don't hate Youngkin, I think he's a decent governor for Virginia. He's not exactly super conservative, and I don't really trust him at all to be our politician at the federal level just because he won an election. Like, that's not the be-all and end-all of everything. I mean, he won the election by running on social conservative issues, mainly in Virginia, a state that went for Biden by 10, and he won. If anything, that would be a big example against the whole electabro narrative, but that's beside the point. Either way, when you look at this, what do you exactly see? You see Trump decimating the Republican establishment. He's just going Joker mode at this point. Like, he doesn't care. He's just going out there and even these blue states, just bringing the wrecking ball to the GOP establishment, which you love to see it. But I wish he would have done the same thing in Ohio. I wish he would have put more effort into a state like Idaho. I wish he would have put more effort into doing it in Alabama or Arkansas. I'm not necessarily going to say that this is the number one battle that we should be picking. Of course, I think it is a net positive Cox won, which is the hot take, and a lot of people may disagree with that, but there are reasons. But beyond that point, I do believe that we have bigger battles to win. However, it is July. It is a proxy war for what is to come in the future. This is a race that was likely D to begin with, and now it will move probably to safety. But either way, what we do know is the fact that it is a proxy war for what's to come, and we were on the right side of the proxy war. And you could see this here. And Dan Cox took the victory, and Donald Trump's picks took the victory, and the establishment candidates lost down ballot. You had a couple of House Republicans in Maryland that were incumbents that lost their elections as well, which was pretty epic. You do love to see that. But either way, it really wasn't that big of a night. There were the Senate and AG and some of the statewide races that had their primaries. But either way, Republicans are not going to really have a chance to win those seats. I mean, the Senate seat with Larry Hogan, if he ran for it, I think he could have made it close. Maryland, typically for like Senate races, even in like 2014, I believe, like the Republicans got in the mid-40s. I think Hogan would have a chance against Van Hollen because Van Hollen is not that popular. But at the end of the day, do we really want people like Larry Hogan in the United States Senate, especially somebody who probably would not even be a party line vote for the Republican Party, and somebody who would be elevated and raised to a much like higher presence in the party? Like, people need to understand this. It's like the whole like Liz Cheney debacle. If Cheney won her primary, I'd probably want her to lose the general election. First of all, it's just one House vote. Number two, she's awful. And just her presence in the media and what she's trying to do to the party is a whole total nuisance, and she does not need to be in Congress regardless. That's my take on it. I see the same thing with a lot of these blue state moderate Republicans, people that are not really going to keep their mouths shut and people that are going to be raised to a higher presence in the party. Of course, the Marylanders may say that that's a selfish take or whatever. I understand that to an extent. I know people can't pack up and move, but at the end of the day, it's not about who wins all the time. It's about who loses. And still, Kelly Schulz's Maryland would be run by the Democrat Party of Maryland that controls every aspect of the state legislature. That is true. Governors are not dictators. In some capacity, some governors on the right are using their power more. People like Ron DeSantis, McMaster, and not Rosendale, but John Forte to a certain extent. And I think that that's a very positive development, but still beyond that point, we have to look a little bit deeper and look at the full picture. And I think for 2022, maybe this was not the most efficient battle for Trump to pick, but he won it. And there are some positives, especially in terms of turnout in the red districts that are needed for Republicans to win and keep redder. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. One last time, we didn't plug it at the beginning, but if you want to join the website, you could join it at redeaglepolitics.com. It's just $5 a month. You get exclusive videos, articles. You could join the Discord server. You could also check out the merchandise. By the end of the month, the store is going to be shut down for a little while, so while supplies last, everything must go. Make sure you check it out. The links for those are in the pinned comment. But as anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.